Food for thought. Just take a breath. Take a deep breath. Your anxiety is sky high. You have a million trillion things that you have to get done. I know I say this every single time, but every single motion can feel like it's the extreme max when things are piled on. And when that happens, you are trying to figure out what is happening while you're still trying to move forward, while still being you. And that is where all your emotions come about, and they're stirring in your head, and they are absolutely feeling like a tornado. But that is when you need to take a deep breath, is when your emotions are sky high. Because honestly, I feel like taking that deep breath is like your brain's, your physical reaction of breathing in is the mental stopping of your head. It's like, oh my goodness, I'm filled with this oxygen. Let me react to that rather than your surroundings. It reminds me of like being like a little kid and you're told count to 10 before you get mad or something, or it's like you need to allow yourself to take a moment to pause and then to react. Like literally yesterday, I'm the type of person to when you're in the flight or fight mode, to like fight when it's appropriate, but then to leave when you need to leave. And so I was mid homework, and all of a sudden the fire alarm in my dorm goes off. And when I hear that alarm, my adrenaline spikes super duper high. My heart begins to race and I immediately want to dash out. But in that moment, I knew I needed to find where my keys are, or where my keys were, and to grab my shoes. And so I grabbed my shoes, and then I couldn't find my keys. And I'm like, oh crap, where are my keys? So I was scrambling while the fire alarm was going off, and my head's telling me to leave. But then I had to tell myself, physically out loud, breathe, focus, find the keys. Breathe, Emma, focus, Emma, focus, and find your keys. And in that moment, I was just trying to breathe and just tell myself verbally to focus and find my keys, grab my stuff that I was working on and put it in my book bag, and then leave. I thankfully remembered that my keys were in my coat. So I grabbed my coat and my bag and I ran downstairs outside the dorm, and I was like, oh my goodness, and my heart was still pounding. But it's that reaction of knowing all these sometimes literal and internal alarms are telling you and that are going off. But then you have to tell yourself to slow down. Because if I would have left without my keys and just bolted, I would have had to call security and have them unlock my door and then get charged money, because I've forgotten my keys a few times before. So I don't know, what I'm really just trying to get at is that from that, honestly, that fire alarm experience, it taught me to slow down, focus on what I was doing, react. Because you cannot move and react at the same time without having to not forfeit something, but to lose something, or you end up forgetting something. That's what I'm trying to get, is that you end up forgetting something when you react, or when you take in your surroundings and then react and then move all at the same time, rather than breathing, react, or breathing, figure out what you need to get done, staying calm, and then acting. Because you just have to figure out how to calm yourself. because your anxiety is what is keeping you safe, but it's what's also keeping you stressed. Like in the movie of like, I just recently saw this year, like Inside Out 2, when Riley gets the new emotion of anxiety. Long story short, anxiety is just trying to protect Riley from the future. And that your anxiety is there for a reason, because as prehistoric people, like cavemen basically, our anxiety is what kept us safe and very aware. Like if we were going out hunting, and then we also had to be prepared about creatures trying to eat us or something. Like I'm like, I don't know if that's true, but I'm trying to like connect the dots in a sense of like, that is where our anxiety comes from, is like trying to prepare for the future so we don't get eaten. But sometimes that instinct of anxiety to make sure that we are safe does its job, but overdoes it. And that sometimes we have to honestly shut off that natural instinct of anxiety to then be able to be aware of what's going on and then make rational decisions afterwards. Because I think when our anxiety and our emotions take control, our lack of rationality and logic decreases, which is good in some situations, but can be very costly in other situations. And so I think that comes back to taking a deep breath, analyzing the situation and the environment, breathing out, and then acting. Because you can't rely on one more than the other, and vice versa, because situations in life and in general are not black and white. And so sometimes you need your emotions to kind of make better decisions, but then other times you kind of need your logistics and rationality. And that's what I'm trying to like figure out. And everything honestly that I talk about like is what I'm like learning, or I learned that day. Like I really hope I do not come off as like all-knowing or a know-it-all, because everything that I talk about is something that I've learned that day or yesterday or from life. And I hope that I can kind of just like give you a little bit of information that could potentially help you in the future, or something that you find useful, or something that you can like implement that is going to positively affect you and help you improve. Because I'm still trying to figure out life as well. I really don't know what's going on in a sense of like what my next journey is after college, but currently I'm trying to figure out life and college, and everything that I talk about is from the lens of like a college student trying to figure out life. So I obviously do not have much life experience being in like my 20s, so it's okay, it's fine. We're both figuring it out. I'm figuring out how to deal with more fire alarms. You could be figuring out what you're going to be doing in your next job. We'll figure out life together. It'll be fine. Because we've made it this far. We've made it through this many alarms, and we're still standing, and we're still together. And you're just doing great, and I'm doing fine. And we'll get through this together, and it'll be fine. It'll be better than great, because we're here now. Food for thought.